Hi everybody, it's Leslie Burns from Gold Crown Events coming back at you again talking about a variety of things for the new year in 2016. I've got a lot of things that I'd like to help you with. So let's jump right in there. First I want to say this is a Sunday, January 24th, and for those of you who live here in the United States, you know we have just dealt with the blizzard of 2016, blizzard of Jonas, and as a result it brought some things to mind for me that we need to be discussing, and that is contingency planning. I don't know how many of you already deal with the subject matter, and it should be every one of you, but I want to make sure that we cover it together so that I know you're prepared. I'm going to do a couple short videos here. It's probably going to be 2, 3, 4 of them just to really make sure I cover all the bases. But let's first start with, you've got an event you are planning for someone, and you're usually, a year, 2 years out at the beginning phases of the planning. And then as the time gets closer, you get a little, better handle on where you're going to be as the event date approaches. One of the things that I like to make sure that we do is kind of discuss with the client in the initial planning phase the dates that they're talking about having the event, and making sure that they understand sometimes we're going to have to change. So, for example, I'm sitting with, let's not even say it's a bride. Let's say it's a graduation party we're dealing with. And, graduation month for most people would be May. Of course, there are colleges and things that have August and December graduations, but let's go with the traditional month of May. And let's say the family who you're planning with say that they want to have the graduation the first week of May. So the first week of May typically should be a very good date. But sometimes, as you know, we still have those darn April showers lingering into the early parts of May. So if the family is planning an outdoor event, that's something you would need to talk with them about and consider. So while they're saying we want an outdoor graduation party, we want it, maybe a country theme, we want it to have, the wooden picnic tables and things like that. Well, here's the question. If we have an event with rain, what should we do? And that's something that you would want to discuss with them. So you're giving recommendations to discuss weather concerns. Likewise, if someone says they want to get married January, the day they met, January 20th or something. If you're in the northeast or an eastern corridor or something like that, you might be dealing with snow. So these are things that you'd want to discuss up front early on and say, okay, if we have this issue, what should we do about it? So I don't just recommend discussing. I recommend putting this in your contract. Now, we can talk about different terms, whether it's a contract or a service agreement or, terms of agreement, whatever. You need to make sure that it is somewhere in the agreement addressed as to what you're going to do. If you're planning a fundraiser for the school and you have rain, it's very easy enough to put in something called a rain date. So we're going to have the event on, let's say, April 10th, but should it rain, you have your own facility where this event is taking place. We're going to reschedule it for the following week. And on all the marketing and promotion materials and all the ads that you would take out, you would list date number 1 as the main date, and then right below it you would say rain date and the secondary date. So in the event that you get a rain out or whatever the weather is, the conditions force you to leave and abandon the first date, everyone knows what the rain date is for the second date. So that gives you an idea of how to address it. Let's talk about some of the steps in addressing it further for events that are not on, let's say, the client's own property where you may have rented a facility. So come back and check out part number 2 of this video, part number 3 and all the others, because there's a lot to talk about. Thanks.